Hello darlings, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coralie and today we are doing a review of the Glaminatrix Pretty in Pastels palette. This palette was sent to me by Glaminatrix in PR, which means I did not buy this palette with my own money. It was sent to me for free, so just, adjust your expectations according to that. Other than that, I do have a code with Glaminatrix that'll save you, I believe, 10% off. That is an affiliated code. So if you use that code when making a purchase, I will make a commission from that purchase. This palette was sent to me actually pretty in advance. The only reason why I wasn't able to get my video up earlier is because I was sick last weekend. I actually haven't done extra makeup in 2 weeks because I was sick last weekend. So here we are. I'm filming this the day it's releasing and I think I'm gonna have it uploaded by tomorrow. So please forgive and forget. Basically they're coming out with this palette and they're coming out with 5 liquid blushes. I couldn't hold them all, which is why I only have 3 right now, but I'm wearing one on my face and I did a whole series on TikTok and Instagram where I tried them all, so you guys can always go check my social media for that. These have a really great formula, really good formula. I would say comparable to higher end brands from like Sephora and stuff like this. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blush formula and I really like the shades that they started with. I can't wait to see them expand a little bit into more shades, more fun shades, maybe some plums, anyways. But I really enjoy their blush formula. It blends super easily. It's also something you can use on your lips if you want, and so I'm a huge fan. That's all you need to know. Anyways, back to the palette. So this palette has 20 shades, 8 shimmers, and 12 mattes of the more pastel variety. So you get pastel tones up there and then you get a row of deeper shades at the bottom. Let's talk about the formula. You guys saw me create 2 looks, but I did create 3, and this is not my first Glaminatrix palette. It's my fifth Glaminatrix palette, so I am familiar with their formula. I will say these are really easy to blend, and I think that's definitely a plus. Pastels are usually easy to blend, generally, but even those deeper shades are super easy to blend. I use these to do some work looks that need to be done quickly, and so when a look has to be done quickly, you want the shades to be easily blendable. So I will say I had no issues blending out the mattes. They have really nice pigmentation. The only 2 shades that I wish had a little bit more pigmentation or maybe more saturation would be the pink. The pink, I feel like it's really light. It's a little hard to see on its own. If I were to just cut my crease and pat it on the cut crease, I think it would be really beautiful, but if I want to use it as like a blended out shade, it doesn't have a whole lot of payoff. The yellow is weak, but I feel like all pastel yellows are weak on me. Not all pastel pinks are, but all pastel yellows are really weak on me. And I mean, you can see it in the center. It's not a shade that completely disappears, which I do appreciate, but other than that, all the mattes I think are very fabulous. One thing, Glaminatrix, I wish these 2 were not so similar. I wish we had a little bit more variety. Maybe something that's like a peachy, less cool tone pink, or maybe a periwinkle I think could have done a really good job in this palette in particular, but I'll deal with it. It's okay, it's fine, whatever. These shimmers, this is the first time that I've tried a palette from Glaminatrix that doesn't have like a lot of multi-chromes or duochromes, right? Most of these shimmers are just sparkly shadows, but they are shimmers that have a dimensional finish because they have a bunch of sparkles that are different shades. Cue the swatches, obviously, but yeah, these are really interesting pretty shimmers, and I'm kind of glad they're not all multi-chromes because I feel like sometimes multi-chromes can be a little tricky because you're looking at it on the palette, but when you put it on your eyes, it's not necessarily the same shade. You have to understand like bases, like color combinations and stuff. So I do think this makes it really easy to use. There is one shade that is more shifty. I would say, would I say a duochrome or a multi-chrome? I think we might have more clarity on that in the swatches, but it's definitely giving like teal to almost purple, but I don't know if it goes through blue, so we'll see that. We'll see that. Anyways, some of the shades, especially the top shimmer row, is a little bit more sheer. So if you want something that's much more poppy, I would say put the matte before, put a shimmer primer, shimmer glue, and then put the shimmer on top. You're gonna get a more intense look. Cue these swatches and then we'll go right into the tutorials. Surreal is an icy pink with nice shimmers, whereas Ambient is a warm purple base with cooler purple sparkles. Next, we have Magical, which is also just a nice sparkly yellow. And we have Idealist, which is a peach with almost green and pink sparkles. So this is one of the more dimensional shades that we get in the palette. Next, we have Soulful, which is a very sheer teal base with teal and pink sparkles. Really pretty, very beautiful. And then we have Soothing, which is the shifty shade of the bunch. It goes from a green to an almost indigo blue with some purple, teal, blue sparkles. Ethereal is an iridescent shade, very, very light, very bright, very icy, and it goes from almost like a light lavender to a pale baby blue. And then we have Daydream, that is a more cooler toned, almost periwinkle blue with a few purple sparkles in it. Hello darlings, welcome to the first filmed look. So look at this beauty. Look at this beauty! When I got it, it wasn't even announced. I was so excited. Look how pretty. For today's look, we're going to use these two columns right here. I already primed using my P. Louise Rumor 2.5. This is a shade that is closer to my skin tone, so let's use that. We're going to first take the two darkest shades, Luminous, which is the brown, and then we're going to take Tranquil, which is the deep purple. So I'm going to put Luminous in my inner corner, and I'm grabbing that with a like small but like fluffy brush because I don't want it to be too focused, because you have to keep in mind we're blending this out using pastels, so we definitely don't want to go too intense. Tranquil, baby, I'm gonna be real careful with her because I don't know if you guys can tell, but like it's really deep. Oof, it's really deep. It's a beautiful shade. I don't want to discredit the shade from its beauty, but it's very deep. So because it's so deep, I'm going to be very conservative with the way that I'm going to use it. I just don't want to do a whole lot of too much and then look like I'm bruised. But yeah, we're literally just going through the motions. I'm going to take this shade right here, which is Imaginary, the orange, and take Fanciful, which is the purple, and I'm going to put them next to their respective mattes. Starting with Imaginary, and we're just going to plop that right in here. I've only used this palette once before, and I did a blue look for work with this, so that's really cool. I'm going to next take Fanciful and just start blending that out into the outer corner. We're using some contrasting shades, by the way, so be a little careful what you're applying and where you're applying it, because yeah, life comes at you fast. We don't want muddiness, but I think the contrast is going to be really pretty in the end. So next we're going to take the yellow, which is Visionary, and then we're going to take Mystify, which is the pink. Again, blend them with their corresponding sides. I'm excited to see this yellow. I love pastel yellows. Okay, that does kind of blend into my skin now. I love baby pinks. Then we're going to do the age-old trick of just reinforcing every single matte shade by going back down the ladder, so I'll be right with you. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie on Netflix, Gunpowder Milkshakes, I don't know. Every time I see a pastel palette, it reminds me of that movie, and I really did like that movie, so yeah, that's that. This is gonna go into the inner corner, so I'm not gonna put it on until I have my base on, but that's okay. We're gonna go with Idealist on the inner lid. We're going to go with Surreal on the center of the lid, and we're going to go with Ambient, which is the purple on the outer of the lid. So I'm going to do this using my Fairnay Pixie Epoxy, and again, like I said, we're going to take the yellow, which is Magical, and put that on, what am I trying to say? Oh, we're going to put that in the inner corner. By the way, I consciously didn't put any mattes on my lid because I want to see how opaque the shimmers are. I don't mind layering my shimmers on top of mattes. I think it looks really beautiful too when you do it that way. But it's always good to know, like, is something going to give you a sheer look, or is it going to give you a more intense look? So I feel like these pick up a little differently. Oh, well, not really. Okay, no, this picks up like normal for Glaminatrix shadow. Wait, it didn't look like it picked up as much on the brush, and I was a little worried, but that's good. Oh, I love this shade.
Sometimes when you find that a shade might like have laid a little bit thicker with a brush, or you want to smooth it over, you can always use your finger. Sorry for, it's my middle finger. It doesn't read anything. Then I'm gonna go with Surreal, which is very, very pink. Oh, this is icy. Okay. It has less, I would say, of like, well, it does have a pink base, but it's very icy. So it definitely pulls a little bit more like whitish, you know? And then we're gonna go with Ambient, which is one of the deeper shimmers, and I'm gonna use it on the very outer corner right here. And then we're gonna blend that out. The pink kind of brings it together, which is good. As always, take the brush with the darkest shade and just pat the edges. We just want to make sure things are blended. Oh, that's pretty good. 11 minutes, better than I thought I would do. So I'm gonna give you guys the shots and everything. The shots. Oof. We're gonna prime using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 2. So this one is a little bit lighter. It's going to give us more of what we want, you know, that more bright pastel look. So this is the look we're gonna do on this eye. It's been 2 weeks since I've done like a really extra makeup look because I was sick last weekend, so I just didn't have the energy to dedicate to doing that. But this week, baby, I am back. Let me introduce you to our first trio. We're first gonna go with Mystify, which is the pink, Imaginary, which is the orange, and Visionary, which is the yellow. And we're gonna do pink, orange, yellow. So let's get into that. The one thing I will say is that I wish the pink was a little bit more pigmented, but honestly, listen, I'll take what I can get. It's a beautiful tone of pink. Just, I wish it was a little more pigmented. I love a pastel yellow. This one does take a little bit of building, but I do love a pastel yellow. I'm gonna go back in with all of these mattes and just re-intensify everything. Our next trio of mattes is going to be Restful, which is the deep green. Then we're gonna go into Entrance, the lighter green, and Labyrinth, which is the teal. So we're gonna start with the darker green. I'm gonna take that on an e.l.f. tapered blending brush. I love these small brushes. They really allow for like great precision work. And we're gonna start packing that on the outer corner like so. And then I'm gonna grab the shadow on the very tip of the brush and we're gonna start winging that out. Just trying to, you know, add a little bit of dimension and shape. Then let's grab Entrance, which is our light green, and just start buffing the top of the dark green. So closer to the brow bone, we want to get some pastel green in there. Finally, we're gonna take Labyrinth. Look how bright that is. Oh, I love. And we're gonna start blending it out right on the bottom of the wing. This is the shade that we're gonna reapply once we've done our entire base because I feel like it's gonna get lost a little bit in our base makeup, but I'll just reapply it when I do my lower lash line. I'm going to take the Blank Canvas paint by P. Louise, and I'm gonna start carving like a half cut crease situation. I'm gonna disappear real quick because I need to get really close to the mirror, but I'll be back. You can always grab your little brush, just pat that in. The two shimmers we're going to use on the cut lid are going to be Surreal, which is the pink right here, and Soulful, which is the teal right here. So I'm going to take those with my finger. This one right here. I'm going to use a more precise brush just to, you know, really get into that crease line. Same thing for the teal. I really like that teal and pink like little look. It doesn't look bizarre because at first I was like, ugh, I don't know how these shades are gonna mix, but they mix really, really well. So I feel like maybe if we use this over a pink base, it would have given us a little bit more pink, but it is a sheerer, more icy shade, so that's okay. Last thing we're gonna do, I know we've been here a while, I'm going to take this paint by P. Louise in the shade Sweet and Sour. And I'm going to create the liner that you guys can see, this one right here. And then we're going to top it off with a shimmer. And we're going to take the shade Soothing, which is the darkest shimmer in this palette. It almost has like a little bit of a shift.
I would say from like a green to purple. But yeah, I'm gonna take a small smudger brush and just pat that in. And I will obviously come back with the final look. And this is the look I'm wearing in the video actually, so you've seen it already. But yeah, whatever. This is something I forgot to mention at the beginning, but all the eyeshadow pans in this palette are magnetic. I don't have my magnet, but I'm telling you, you can remove the pans if you have a magnet, and you could shift them places. You could do like build your own palettes with this. It's really, really fun. I do not believe the shade names of these are written on the other side. Oh, Glaminatrix Cosmetics is an Australian brand, so shipping might be a little bit more expensive and lengthy if you are not in Australia. But I do think if you're like in Australia, New Zealand, it's so fun to have an indie brand that creates high quality products near you. So listen, we win some, we lose some. I can't tell if this is Australian dollars or Canadian dollars. It retails for $59, which for 20 shades is pretty good in the indie makeup realm. I can't tell you if the palette is worth buying because I did not pay for it. I did not pay for it with my own money. Like, this was sent to me in PR, so I don't feel that it's adequate for me to be like, oh my god, this is so worth your money. Meanwhile, I did not spend a dime on this, but I do enjoy the palette. I do enjoy the rainbow pastel of it all. If you guys saw my ranking for palettes from last year, I think 2 pastel palettes were in my top 5. Needless to say, I really like pastels. I'm super, super excited about this release. I cannot wait to wear this so much more. Anytime something is pastel, I get very excited. So this is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer your questions with, you know, the knowledge I have amassed using this palette. Thank you so much for sticking, even though I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks. The reason why I didn't upload sooner is because I was sick. So I didn't have the energy to do so. So yeah, here we are. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.